Shabbat Shalom. A group of elderly retired men gathers each morning at a cafe in Tel Aviv. They drink their coffee and they sit for hours discussing the world situation. Given the state of the world, their talks are usually depressing. One day, one of the men startles the other by announcing, "You know what? I am an optimist." The others are shocked, but then one of them notices something fishy. "Wait a minute, if you're an optimist, why do you look so worried? You think it's easy to be an optimist?" Rabbi Joseph Telushkin presents his story in the book Jewish Humor, what the best Jewish jokes say about the Jews, and it's one to which we can immediately relate. Jewish culture depends on a strange mixture of freedom to kvetch and freedom to dream. As Telushkin teaches, by insisting that the world is moving towards perfection and that the messianic days lie in the future, Judaism encourages Jews to be optimists. But Jewish history, with its tragic record of crusades, expulsions, pogroms, and the Shoah, impels Jews to pessimism. Hence, as Jews, we are optimists, with worried looks on our faces. Each morning and evening during the month of Elul, we recite Psalm 27, which, if you'd like to follow along, you can find on page 59 of Siddur Lev Shalem. Psalm 27 does not ignore the communal and individual hardships we have experienced. When our psalm states, "Though my father and mother leave me, Adonai will care for me," it affirms both our heartbreak and our hope. In the past year in this community, we have seen far too much illness and death. And yet we find hope in the laughter that arises as we share memories. We find joy in the wave of B'nai Mitzvah and births that we have had this year and will have in this year to come. As the mixture of emotions in our psalm conveys, we embrace our hope for a better future. We show up here, and we show up for each other. As we recite in Psalm 27, "I will bring God offerings with shouts of joy, singing, chanting praises to Adonai." We continue to make minyanim, and we continue to have dinners, breakfasts, gatherings that pack each and every day on our calendar. Looking at the month and a half in the future, we literally have no more space for Sukkot programming because everyone who is passionate about embracing the joy of our Sukkah raced to book their spot. We know our potential to lift each other up with that energy of community. Both inside and outside of this sanctuary, we learn from each other's care and opinions on how to find comfort in moments of light. In the words of our psalm, "To you my heart has said, seek my face. Your face, Adonai, I seek." Even with our year of continued threats, fighting, and political upheaval in Israel, the home of our Jewish people and so many of our friends and loved ones, we continue to attend classes and ask questions about our Judaism. In a year of American politics that continue to threaten division and despair, we keep pursuing new mitzvot, we keep pursuing justice. We know that the more we seek out who God is and what God expects from us, the closer we can get to achieving a world grounded in tzedek. When our world is starving for tzedek, for justice, we pursue it. We find our wisdom, our future in the wisdom of the Torah, the Talmud, our Jewish practice, and each other's words and presence. Each and every day, by volunteering here and in organizations throughout the Metroplex, by practicing simple kindness and compassion, by experiencing prayer and ritual together, we combat our fear and sadness through the stubborn optimism of seeking God. One thing I ask of Adonai, for this I yearn, to dwell in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold God's beauty, to pray in God's sanctuary. Throughout this month of preparation for yet another year, yet another repetition of our Torah, our holidays, we repeat our psalm again and again to remind us of the worried optimism that we hold the responsibility to maintain. With 7 haftarot of consolation, God implores us, as in our first haftarah of consolation, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Comfort, comfort yourselves, my people, imploring us to keep going, to keep recognizing the blessing of community we have around us, the stability and inspiration we have in this God for whom we learn and practice. And as in this week's Haftarah of consolation, which Paul read so beautifully, hit orari, wake up. Keep that optimism going. Believe that we are good enough as Jews, that we are good enough as people to make the changes that our lives, that our loved ones, that our world needs from us. We are, each and every person here is, more than enough. Through our repetition in Psalms and Haftarah, we make sure that God is listening to us too. We demand even more from an already perfect God by showing our best selves, by coming together in community. And finally, only then, we command God to be God's best self in the year to come. So let's recite together for the first time on a Saturday morning our psalm for the month of Elul and for Tishrei too on page 59. Let's recite together in the English. A Psalm of David. Adonai is my light and my help, whom shall I fear? Adonai is the stronghold of my life, whom shall I dread? When evil people assail me to devour my flesh, my enemies and those who besiege me, it is they who stumble and fall. Should an armed camp be arrayed against me, my heart would show no fear. If they were to go to war against me, of this I would be sure. One thing I ask of Adonai, this is what I seek, to dwell in the house of God all the days of my life, to behold God's peacefulness and to pray in God's sanctuary. In a time of calamity, you would hide me in your sukkah, enfold me in the secret recesses of your tent. Raise me up to a stronghold. Now my head is raised high above my enemies round about, and I come with offerings amidst trumpet blasts to God's tent, chanting and singing praises to Adonai. Adonai, hear my voice as I cry out, and be gracious to me and answer me. It is you of whom my heart says, seek my face. It is your presence I seek, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not act with anger toward me. You have always been my help. Do not forsake me. Though my father and mother abandon me, Adonai will gather me in. Show me your way, Adonai, and lead me on a straight path despite those arrayed against me. Do not hand me over to those who besiege me, for false witnesses who breathe hatred have risen against me. If only I could trust that I would see God's goodness in the land of the living. Place your hope in Adonai. Be strong and take courage, and place your hope in Adonai. Shabbat Shalom and Chodesh Tov.